Now we're just continuing our interviews here at Glin Castle, and it's part of a wonderful evening so far, and we have to thank a number of people, and one is Dr Declan Downey of UCD, who joins me here for a few words. Declan, a very inspiring speech, words of wisdom, as they say as well, but I think the main thing is for all of us and for all the public all over the country is to appreciate the wonderful historical environment that we are actually living in.
Precisely. Well, as you know, so much of tourism in Ireland is focused on the wonderful landscapes and seascapes that we have, mountains and lakes and rivers, and we exploit a lot of our natural scenery for that. But that has been very much to the neglect, I think, over the years of the rich, wealthy architectural heritage that we have. And we are quite unique in that in this part of Ireland we have some of the finest examples of Gothic Irish architecture. And indeed it's even finer than anything you'll find in Dublin or the English Pale around Dublin as it was traditionally known. The architecture here was very much inspired by continental influences, and it is thanks to the Earls of Desmond here in the Desmond Palatinate, which consisted of the counties of Limerick and North and West Kerry, that we had this marvellous range of buildings. And it's to draw attention to these buildings and to their potential for developing heritage tourism that we wrote this book, and it serves as a guide to this, and also to inform people of the historical inheritance that they have here. So it's very much, let's celebrate the Hiberno-Norman culture of this region here in North Munster along the banks of the Shannon and make the most of it, and we can therefore tap into similar projects, say in Flanders and in France particularly, and if they can make a great go of it, I don't see why we can't either, and we'll attract the discerning tourist into this region. And it's something different and it's something varied, and I think it comes as a surprise to a lot of people, and that's part of the thrill of this form of tourism, the element of surprise.
And just finally, it is a sad note that the unfortunate burning of a beautiful home, Mount Vernon in County Cork, recently. That was a terrible blow to our heritage.
Yes, indeed. I really do feel great sadness about that, and certainly the people of Cork have, really lost a wonderful treasure. Mount Vernon was a magnificent house, great example of Irish architecture from the 18th century, what we typically call Irish Georgian, but it's a Palladian style house. It was a magnificent building built by Irishmen and Irish craftsmen, and local craftsmen did that work. They were brought the designs from the continent and they were asked to recreate them, and they did to such a high degree of skill and craftsmanship. And apart from the furnishings and the interior decoration, the paneling, the ceilings, the plasterwork, etc., there's also great loss in terms of the paintings, and many of these were by Irish artists from the 18th century, the Garrett Morpheys and the Lathams, etc. And this is such a tragedy. It's such a loss to Cork, and it's a loss to the nation indeed. Yes, it is.
One thing, of course, I do remember the late night of Glyn Desmond Fitzgerald always emphasising the importance of preserving these wonderful homes, because, as you just said, they are a showcase of Irish craftsmanship.
That's exactly it, and it's something we should be proud of. And for too often I think people have had the misconception that they were somehow representative of something foreign in the country, but that's not true. These were built by Irish people, by Irish craftsmen, and they are showcases of what this country produced and what this country can take pride in. And we can stand and hold our heads up high in the civilized world and say, this is our heritage. It is just as good as anything you have in the rest of Europe, and it is something that we can be proud of. and it is our great showcase of what we can do and the skills and the vision and the artistry of our people. And that was something very much that Desmond believed in and promoted, and did great work in doing so. And I think it's been a wonderful legacy that he has left us, and something that we can all be proud of and cherish and use, because that's what it's meant to be. It's meant to be used for the greater economic good of society. And I think that we can develop a heritage tourism industry in this region, and indeed throughout the country, if we put our minds to it, and showcase ourselves as a serious cultural venue to come to.
Dr. Declan Downey, thank you so much, and congratulations. Well done on a fine speech, inspiring as always.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Right.